Welcome to Stella. Living life sarcastically. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Stella. Living life sarcastically. Today we are talking about emptiness and dating over 50. Yeehaw! It is the time to step out and have fun. It is also the time of life to find yourself again and learn to relax. Nothing truly prepares you for being an empty nester. The babies are all grown up and gone on to the next chapter of their lives. The whole time you're raising your kids, you keep saying, I can't wait until I have some damn time to myself. I can't wait until I don't have to cook and clean as much. Unfortunately, that part is not true. You will still be cooking and cleaning, probably even just as much. All those great things you plan to do when you have free time, somehow you still don't have time to do them either. I swear my time is spent feeding animals and chasing them around to see what they have in their mouth, which is really not very much different than having babies. Fur babies and husbands are still high maintenance. So we didn't really become free, we just had some of our responsibility change. You spent years of carpools, sports, and school events. It seemed like they were never ending. When you have more than one kid, it is even doubled or even tripled. You are driving them everywhere, and you are basically living in your car. You wouldn't change a thing, though, because these are the moments that shape them and ultimately bring joy to your heart. In the car is where the funny conversations happen, the singing off tune, and the giggling. As they become teenager, it becomes a little quieter. At times, since you were just not cool enough, or maybe they were half asleep, taking a little nap. There is always that one kid that falls asleep as soon as they get in the car. You have been through teaching them to drive, getting their license, homework, prepping for school dances and graduation, and off to college they go. When the first one leaves, you feel a little lost and worry about them a lot, but you still have others at home that you have to take care of. By the time your last one leaves, you are tired. You are worn out, and you are ready for a really nice vacation. Unfortunately, what really happens is you find way too much free time. This means more time to worry. You worry about how they are doing, if they are okay, if they are eating. It's almost like you're a distant stalker. Then you realize they are just fine and can take care of themselves. Once you've gotten through this stalker phase, the party begins. You can pick up and go anytime you want. You can eat whatever and whenever you want without worrying about feeding someone else. Oh, wait. You still have to feed your husband. That is what I keep forgetting to do. Oh my. Unfortunately, you still have to work, so the party is not what you would expect. Your kids grow up and move on before it's time to retire, so you're still having to deal with that daily grind. This really sucks because now you are scheduling fun around work. You can't really quit working yet, but you sure do dream about it. You make time to try new things and take up hobbies which you never had time for before. Right before I turned 50, I took up motorcycle riding. It was something I always wanted to do, but never quite got to it. I was worried about my kids. They needed me, so I couldn't take the chance of something happening to me. I started out by taking a motorcycle riding class. The 2-day class took place on an asphalt parking lot on a day that was well over 100 degrees. I almost fainted twice from the heat that was rising up off the asphalt, but I still passed the test. I was so proud. No stopping me now. Living in the desert means that riding a motorcycle can be really hot. And when I say hot, I'm not talking a little hot. It is hotter than 4 hells. Just to be clear, riding in 100-degree heat with hot flashes has got to be one of the most miserable things ever. I invested in an ice vest, which is a pretty cool contraption. You have this Velcro vest with ice packs in it. I also ordered extra ice packs so I could trade them out halfway through a ride if necessary. The problem comes in when you forget to make sure that they're stored and completely iced. If you don't, then you just have cool water packs to put into your vest. Let's just say there is no shame in pulling over 1,000 times to douse yourself with water. By the end of the ride, I end up looking like a wet rat with no makeup and flat hair. And if you know me, you know I don't like going anywhere without makeup. As a matter of fact, recently I wasn't feeling too well. I was tired and busy prepping for our Halloween party. I woke up and showered and got distracted before I put my makeup on. Hours later, I jumped in the truck to get a couple last-minute items. I went in the grocery store that I go to all the time and talked to the lady I've seen there probably 100 times. She stopped me mid-sentence and asked if I was okay. Yes, thank you for asking. I thought it was odd, but okay. I got in my truck and felt like something was in my eye, so I looked in the mirror to see what it was, and I screamed with disgust. No wonder she said that. I looked horrible and had scared the hell out of her. I wasn't even wearing a costume yet. I got back home, and my dear friend was there because she had been helping me set up for the party before I ran out to the store. I said to her, "How in the hell did you let me leave looking like this?" We laughed. Then she texted my son to say she thought the apocalypse was coming since I went out without makeup. He was totally freaked out and worried if I'd hit my head or something. Even with the heat, the rides can be worth it, though. We like to explore new places, eat good food, and ride with great friends. Nowadays, I've switched from a 2-wheel motorcycle to the Can-Am Spyder, which has the 2 wheels in the front and the one in the back. This was the most freeing thing I've ever done. My regular motorcycle was absolutely gorgeous and a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it is not fun stopping at lights and holding up a 700-pound bike on my bad knee. I know, that just means don't ever stop. I did try that for a while, but eventually you don't have a choice. You have to stop. My Spyder has given me the freedom to ride anytime, rain or shine. I love it and all the adventures. Recently, we rode up to Oatman, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away, depending on how you drive. It is a nice windy road with lots of beautiful desert leading up to Oatman, which is an old western town. And I say it depends on how you drive, because those who know me know I tend to drive just a little fast. If I remember correctly, my husband has only ridden with me like 3 or 4 times in all these years. I don't know why he was so scared. He was screaming and crying. His screaming and crying made it hard for me to focus on the oncoming traffic. It is this fear that keeps him in the driver's seat. Before the motorcycle, I was lucky enough to become single again. And let me say, dating over 50 is not the picnic you would expect. This is especially true if you started dating again just after COVID. Some of us braved the online dating apps world. This was not an easy decision, and it took a lot of coaxing and just a little liquid courage. I have a dear friend who had experience with them and kept saying, "Just do it." Let me tell you, dating apps are not for the faint at heart. There are more spammers and creepers than you can possibly imagine. Within less than 30 minutes of putting up my profile, there were 100+ messages. And I promise you, most of them you wouldn't even want to read. It is amazing how brave people are to say things behind a keyboard that they would probably not ever say to your face. Most were downright disgusting. I found myself getting irritated just dealing with them all. Disgusting sexual messages fill your message inbox from complete strangers. You could tell their mama didn't teach them how to behave right. Yes, I know, I'm not a 20-something-year-old hottie anymore. I'm just pretending I was a hottie when I was 20. Now you're back in the dating pool with some gray hair, a few wrinkles, and a lot more experience. Your gauge for bullshit is also a lot stronger. You become a human lie detector. The good thing about that experience is that it shows you what you don't want. I honestly had one guy meet me for lunch, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Wow, your truck's not a real truck." Oh, because he had a Ram and I had a Ford? Mind you, they were the same size. Mine had all the bells and whistles, and his was old and beat up. Needless to say, there was not a second date, and I barely made it through the first date. The idiots just kept coming out of the woodwork. Then there was the guy that creeped me out so bad, in the first 15 minutes of the date, I got sick and had to leave. Can you believe this asshole still tried to kiss me anyway? Even tried to stick his tongue in my mouth. Ugh. I was climbing in my truck and turned, and he was there. Thank goodness I never gave any of them extra information than the app and tried to limit information until I got to know them better or did a little investigating online. You have to be a detective to date these days, just to run things down to make sure you aren't talking to one of America's most wanted. I learned early on they would all ask for your number so they could talk to you off the app. I was like, nope, we can just talk on the app. I didn't want anyone to have my phone number until I met them in person and looked them in the eye to see how psycho they were. Most of them didn't like this approach, which made it real easy to weed through those clowns. Just a little education, if you need it, about dating profiles. Pay very close attention to the photos and the bio. They almost never look like their pictures. They lie about their age and put up photos from 20 years ago. Really? Do they think we are dumb and won't notice when we meet them? I swear, these characters are some of the dumbest in society. Bless their heart. If they are wearing a hat in the photo, they probably have no hair. If they aren't smiling, then they're demented and/or they have no teeth. If they say they aren't married, they are lying their ass off. If they say they are looking for a serious relationship, they are also lying. They are just looking for a hookup and then will disappear like the wind. I didn't have that problem because I didn't like anyone more than a first date. I deleted way more than I ever talked to. Dating was awkward and uncomfortable since I don't have the patience I once had. I swear, I struggled to even remember their names, especially when I could tell they were lying. Wouldn't it be great to interview all dating candidates with a polygraph? Could you just see the fear in their eyes when you pull out the machine and say, "This won't hurt a bit"? It's absolute craziness. Just to be clear, this is not one-sided. Men have it just as bad. All the women are looking for someone to support them and their 4 kids. They are looking for someone with a good job and a house they can move right into. It really is complete madness. Dating is not the same these days, and it is not easy to adapt. I am just happy I don't have to worry about that anymore. I got lucky. Most don't. I actually met my husband online. I was about to delete my profile out of sheer disgust. I couldn't deal with another creep. My husband was the only one that literally just said hi to open the conversation. Not something like "you're hot and I want to hook up." And trust me, that's not what they were saying. I just cleaned it up quite a bit for you. He was refreshing and nice, although I have to admit it was a little like, "Wait, do you not think I'm hot?" I joke. I closed the app and thought, no, I'm not going through this crap again. Then I thought, I wonder how tall he is. I opened the app back up and checked. 6'3". Nice. No, I'm not falling for it. Then I wavered and said hi back. The rest is a long, event-filled history. Honestly, if my husband decides this isn't what he wants, he will just disappear. Just a big pillow over the face while he sleeps. Wait, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I don't need to pre-incriminate myself. I would live out my years with my pups and be just as happy all by myself. Kind of like practical magic. Just my animals and garden. And of course, midnight margaritas. Next week's podcast is about Thanksgiving and shopping. Please go to the Still Stella Facebook page and share your funniest Thanksgiving story. We would love to hear it. We might even share it on the podcast. Thank you for listening, and please take a moment to follow or subscribe so you are notified when the next episode is available. New episodes are available every Thursday. That is, of course, if you still want to share the craziness. Let's have fun together, and please share this chaos with all your friends. And don't forget to share it with your enemies, too. Let me torture them with my sarcasm for you. Thank you for listening to Still Stella, living life sarcastically.